As of last week, I said it openly in an interview that Jonathan offered me money to compensate me for working according to him so that he could come to power. I rejected it. They have not denied it. It's been a week since I said that. And it's not the first time. I even mentioned the person who brought the money, Imani Boro. I mentioned the person who he sent to me, who is late now, Ronto Douglas, to come and become a member of his cabinet. If you don't believe, if you know that happened, and you don't hold it against me, and you sit down there, my brother, and lie against me, that because I was doing my job, that I'm part of APC, and nobody has been able to prove it. The government detained me for 5 months in 2019. They looked at all my accounts, even charged me for money laundering because they claimed I went to Dubai. When they found out I've never been to Dubai before, they withdrew the charges. They found out that I don't have any shady accounting in my. I've never received money from anybody. They withdrew the charges of money laundering. But you sit down there. The injustice you are doing against me is as bad as the injustice the government is doing against me for falsely accusing me of what I've never done before and putting me in prison. If you are president of Nigeria, you are likely to put me in prison on false charges as well, because you are falsely declaring openly that I work for APC, which is not true. I have said it anywhere. Have I ever attended an APC meeting? Have I ever been in a hotel with anybody to discuss anything about Buhari coming to power? Have I ever campaigned for Buhari? Never. You can't provide that evidence. You are now using contextual, hearsays that they said you are at this meeting. They said
Sowore, this is not about hearsay.
So why would you have to lie against? Why do you have to lie against me?
Sowore,
if I believe in causes, my brother, if I believe in causes, I would say that we'll lay a cause on me and you. If anything you are saying, but I don't believe in those things because I know they don't work.
Otherwise, you are not getting my context right.
But if you are lying against somebody, and the person has explained to you, and you know it to be untrue, my brother, change your ways. Otherwise, it's going to haunt you in the future. Don't lie against somebody simply because somebody told you a story that's untrue.
No, Sowore, you're not letting me talk.
Thank you, Mr. Chibuzo.
No, let him finish. I just wanted to make my point. Please let him finish. But I'm telling you that you are lying against me. I've never campaigned for Buhari, never met Buhari before in my life, never worked for APC before. Some of you lie against me that I go to Tinubu's house. I've never met Tinubu more than once in my life. Since 1999, I've never seen Tinubu. But all these things are things that you guys lie against people about. But you don't expect me to tell a lie against you, or put you in jeopardy over a lie. It's not fair, my brother.
Sowore, you are still not getting the point.
Thank you very much.
The point I'm making is this.
Let him finish, please. I will really let him finish.
Yeah, the point I'm making is this. Now, the point I'm making is this. Now, to be honest with you, prior to you campaigning in 2019, we all had this belief in you that Sowore is the guy, Sowore is the man, is this and that. Fine. And which of us still have it. But my point is this. Now, when you head to head with Buhari and Jonathan and all those guys that have been in power, the truth is that most people will still want to go with you. But my point is this. These are issues that you have not been able to clarify and you have not been able to admit to. You use
how would I admit to a lie? How would I admit to a lie? Because
don't deny.
I'm telling you, I'm putting it into your
Chibuzo. It's not a lie.
Chibuzo, I'm putting it lie. It's a lie. If anybody that's listening to you today, wants to believe the lie, they are entitled to believe the lie. It's just like I can put out a lie against you too, that you went to Brazil carrying drugs, right? And put it out and keep pushing it, that you are doing drugs in Brazil. And you want people to believe it, and you don't do drugs. You're not selling drugs. You didn't go to Brazil to be selling drugs. You are not
forget about that.
No. Don't forget about it. What I want to clarify to you is that don't stick with a lie because it's convenient. Because one day it might be your turn.
Not a lie.
Use your but I've asked you to provide me evidence.
Look at Jonathan was a useless president, no doubt.
So you want me to have supported Jonathan
and bring Buhari to power.
which one issue was overblown on Sahara reporters? Give me one instance. Is it the fact that his wife was stealing money, or that Desiane, his girlfriend, who last week the EFCC said they took back from her $153 million? You understand? The thing is that we live in a country where our own biases, covers our conscience. Otherwise, Jonathan should be in prison. If Jonathan was in Brazil, he would be in prison today. Yes. So,
no doubt.
Is it that person that should have been in prison that should apologize? Wait. Exactly. So, and I'm of that opinion. Is that person that should be in prison after his tenure that you want me to apologize for opposing? You want me to apologize to a thief? You want me to apologize to a guy who had barrel of oil sold at $140 per barrel, stole all the money, filtered it, left children who supposed to have money for their future in penury today, left the country in a state of insecurity and turmoil, stole money, used the money that's meant for all of us for their own personal use. You want me to apologize for opposing the person? Where is our conscience? Where is our conscience, people?
No, I never said so.
That's what you are insinuating.
Jonathan,
that because I was opposed to Jonathan, because I was opposed to Jonathan's recklessness in government, you want me to apologize for doing that?
You are not getting the context I'm coming from.
What is your context? Tell me.
My context is this: Buhari is useless. Jonathan is useless, no doubt.
Yes.
Now,
so you want me to still apologize for? So another regime will come now and they will ask me to apologize to Buhari too.
What I'm saying is this: if truly you want to become a supposed great leader that we believe you should be, the truth is that when you make a mistake, you should be bold enough to.
I'm asking you once again, what is my mistake, Chibuzo?
You used your platform to enable this power.
Oh, okay. Because the platform was opposed to Jonathan's recklessness and corruption. You are upset with that. I'm sorry for that.
No, I love the way you expose Jonathan. I love if
you definitely don't. You definitely don't.
What you said that if you are in a good country, Jonathan ought to be in jail by now. To be honest.
Exactly. So what are we? So who should now apologize? The only crime I committed, according to you, was that I was opposed to him and I exposed every corrupt act he was involved in. What you said something? Wait. You said something that is very instructive. That you said it was overblown. That's my crime in your eyes. That his corruption was overblown. Where he stole 150 million, we said it was 400. Abi, that's my crime.
Let's move on. I don't want other people to Let's move on. But the truth is that we still have to talk about you are trusting power.
Adeyinka, I think it's time we move forward because
we move forward, Mr. Adeyinka.
Adeyinka, can you let us move forward, please?
Moderator, please, can we have a limited time for a question?
But not that we cannot move forward, but Mr. Sowore still allows the man to talk. That is why if Mr. Sowore stops him, he will stop. But when Mr. Sowore is giving him a chance to talk,
no, he's asking a good question. There's no problem. But what we are saying, can we have a limited time for any question?
Can we please move forward?
Can we move forward, please?
Ask your question. You can go on, please.
All right, Mr. Sowore, you are welcome, and I want to sincerely thank you for everything. I mean, everything. You've made me as a person to know about the wickedness and the evil of our oppressor. Before you came in, I said something. That we don't have too many tribes in Nigeria. No, we have only 2 tribes. The tribe of the oppressed and the tribe of the oppressors. And all of us that came into this forum, I want us to have objective mind. If you understand Sowore from professional point of view, and you look at his history, you will realize one thing. The same thing you are accusing him of, Jonathan, is the same thing he has also done to this Buhari you are talking about. And it's the same thing he has done to Obasanjo and Atiku. The truth is this. All these leaders, they came in, not because Sowore exposed whoever that was supposed to be exposed. They came in because the people themselves were already tired of the very person we talk about. You see, all this argument, oh, Sowore did it, is part of the strategy of the oppressed to continue to make us not to be in one voice. And as long we continue to sit on this platform to hold Sowore accountable for this, we will never, and I'm saying it, we will never get what we are looking for. Like I said earlier, I like Sowore is coming from his own angle and his understanding. Nnamdi Kanu too is coming from his own angle and his understanding. The Arewa is coming from their own angles and understanding. The Igbos, the Ododuwa, they are coming out from their own angle and understanding. But there is something that is common among all of them if you want to be objective. They are fighting for justice. They are fighting for the blood of the innocent that are being spilled every day. Do you know what it means as a mother to be married for months, for years, without no child? You went to Babalawo, you went to Efa, you went to church, you were humiliated, and God answered your prayer, and you bettered a child. And your very crow eye, that child is being murdered in the order of greediness. And you come here to tell me about what Sowore has done wrong and what has he not done wrong. Was Jonathan fair? Was his hand clean? They say he that must come to equity, he that must fight justice must come with a hand of equity. Why are we blindfolded? Did you hear what that woman said? The day that Sowore and co, they were crying for the release of those the children they kidnapped in Kaduna. The woman said, I not go to school. That is why I send my child to go to school. And that child right now is taken away. And I'm not sure if that child come back. I saw it, I cried. I remember calling Dr. Chidi in Canada, and I was crying. And I said to myself, if no one follow me, I will go to Washington. And I will let them know here in America, at the fowl has rights. If you even though you have God, you are licensed to hunt here in US. If you don't go to the location you were licensed to hunt, and you went to another location to hunt, you will be arrested and jailed for hunting a bushmeat. How much more a child that a woman carried for 9 months is being pushed out on the street, and we are here blaming Sowore for what? Is that our problem? Is that our problem, my brothers and sisters? For how long are we going to push Sowore in a hot seat and be blaming him for exposing the wickedness of our people? For how long? If you were Sowore, will you like that? Will you?
No.
All of us that are blaming him. I want to ask us, like the first speaker said before Sowore came. Listen, we are all the cause of Nigeria problem. One way or the other, we are the cause. And we, all of us, whether you like it or not, all of us must work together to bring solution to the problem of our country. Let's stop blaming ourselves. If Sowore apologize to you today, Will that stop the corruption that is going on? Will that stop the killings? With that? If that will not solve it, then let's drop all those trash in a dustbin of forgetfulness and look at the bleeding of our nation, and let us please work together. Buhari is not good. Jonathan wasn't better. Obasanjo, that monkey, was not better. Atiku that is warming up is not better. Ajekudu Jera Tinubu is not better. All of us are supposed to work together. We are here fighting ourselves. Why are we being deceived? For how long are we going to be deceived? Is it because they are not rich your stomach? Are you waiting for them to kill your brothers and sisters and cousins at home before you feel the pain? For goodness sake. If you don't feel the pain now, I'm sorry. Like I told my team, that look, Nigeria is sitting on a time bomb. And when the bomb blows, it is all of us. You see those Boko Haram? They are the Amajiris that we deceived in Islamic religion that they should come and practice Amajiri. Now they grow up to become a young adult. And they look at this phone that tells them everything. And they see the injustice that is done to them. Then they become a recruit ground for Boko Haram. The thing is this: what are the root cause of all this problem? I am a social worker by profession. When you want to address something, you identify the problem. You look at the root cause. What is the root cause of all this problem? It is not Sowore. And let's stop this bullshit. He's your fellow brother, for goodness sake. Do you think it is funny how many of you will leave your daughter and son and wife here in US, where there is safety, and you go and sit down there in a land that they hate you with passion? How many of you will do it? If you can't do it, let's stop blaming him. He was only doing his professional job. And let's accept it. Let's stop the lies they are telling us. Let's stop doing that. Whoever that is accusing Sowore, if you were doing your professional job with integrity and sincerity, true to yourself and true to your maker, how long will you be accepting this bullshit we throw at him every day? Please. Please. Let's stop dividing ourselves. It is the strategy. In strength. In strength. In unity. We will overcome these oppressors. They are just minute. But as long as they sow the seed of discord and hatred in our midst,
Mrs. Ann,
the victory is very far.
Mrs. Ann,
all of us are crying for.
Mrs. Ann, what an emotional, in fact,
whether we are Ododuwa, whether we are Biafra, whether we are this, if me I want to even talk, say, from my own tribe, Urobo in Delta State, I will say to you, Yoruba, the Igbos, and the Hausa, that you people are selfish because you are the three major tribes of Nigeria. You are the three major tribes of Nigeria, and yet you people will keep on saying you are marginalized, you are this. What of us that are from other tribes that are not being recognized?
Mrs.
So please, let's be one and move and fight for this fight and get the victory. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Ann. In fact, you are.
Attention, Mr. The Coordinator.
Mr.
Coordinator, please, can we have a limited time for each fellow that is asking a question or wanted to ask Mr. Sowore a question? Because we have a lot of people that wanted to know something about Sowore and his political affairs.
Mr.
Thank you.
Daniel, please, listen. You can only talk one after the other, please. Mrs. Ann, thank you very much for your, it's more like an advice than a question, actually. We thank you very much, and always let us know your full name while you ask questions for us, please. Mr. Sowore, do you have anything to say to that?
No, I think she made a submission based on harms. When I was in the University of Lagos, I fought against cultism. I was totally against court violence and cultism. The University of Lagos authorities sat one day and said the best way to destroy Sowore's name is to claim that he's a member of a cult. They couldn't find any cult to assign to, because I remember they set up their own cult. They call it authority confraternity and said that I'm the capone of that cult. So I left the University of Lagos with people divided over my legacy as an anti-cultist, as a pro-democracy activist, because of this lie, and it was completely a lie. But later on, when the university authorities started getting old and leaving, they started confessing to their children that they had to lie against me because I was too much for them to handle. Those of you who were around in 2018, you must have heard of a woman who went online when I was campaigning, claiming that she gave me videos of people who were being raped, children who were being raped. And I went and sold the videos to the Lagos state government. A lot of people were scared. They were scared for me. They believed it. They believed it, that until later on when luckily enough, I had my, transaction evidence on Facebook with her. And I released it and told people, she reached out to me. I asked people to follow her, to go and videotape. But when they got there, discovered she just wanted to use it to help PDP, Jimmy Agbaje at that time. She just went to distribute food to some people. They asked them, where are you? They said it's the woman who even brought them to the place to film them. And later on, her friend contacted me that she wanted to raise funds with homeless children, and my refusal to use the platforms, our reporters, to promote that fraud was why she was upset with me. So it's important. And the reason why you see that I was a little vehement about this is that I can stand governments lying against me, because that's what governments do. They tell lies. But when a fellow citizen look at you in the face, or they look at you, another fellow citizen, person of conscience, and they lie against you outright. Oh, you did this. We are sure you did this. We are sure you did this. In a way that they know is not true. They know, and they said to you, the person says to you, it doesn't matter what you say. I'm not going to believe you. I don't think that is fair, because we shouldn't be doing that to us. That's what the government does to us in Nigeria. They lie against us every day. As we speak now, the Buhari regime is lying against all Igbos that they are killing policemen and they are killing people based on those lies. Should I be promoting that? I can't do that, because I know what the regime is about. For somebody to tell me that I should apologize to a regime that stole the future of Nigeria, I don't even understand how to deal with it sometimes. Sometimes I handle it with grace. Sometimes it makes me lose my mind. How do you apologize to a Jonathan that raised billions of dollars that could have turned Nigeria around, and he frittered it away? He stole the money. They distributed it. They gave one person 3 billion naira to go and pray in Saudi Arabia, and he took the money. His wife stole. His girlfriends, they were building mansions. They were buying private jets in this country. If a fellow citizen tells me to apologize to such a person, I'm wondering, what is wrong? And all my crime in all of this, is that, you reported everything wrong with the Jonathan regime. But are we not doing the same with the Buhari regime? Didn't I go to prison for 5 months because of the Buhari regime? Am I not in restriction 2 years now? I've been restricted to Abuja because of the Buhari regime, and I've never apologized for doing that. Even though they came to me in detention and I should apologize to Buhari, I opted to remain in detention than apologize. You can go and ask. The people who came to me in prison are still alive. So that is my own problem with how these things are framed. Beside that, I don't have a problem with. I know I'm enemy of the state, an enemy of the political. They will do everything. They have the money, to do whatever they can. Some of them will assassinate me if they have a chance tomorrow, based on a lie. And they're selling that lie to enlighten people, and enlightened people are repeating the lie. And that's why we are where we are today in Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
That's my response.
Thank you very much.
I hope we can move on. Thank you.
We have Mr. Bayo Lawal, who also raises his hand. Please, can you unmute yourself and ask a question?
Hello. Mr. Sowore.
Please introduce yourself, your name.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon from here.
This is Bayo Lawal. I'm from Brazil. I live in Brazil. And I'm a CEO of MAD Consulting Services. Mr. Sowore, it's nice to have you here. I didn't know much about you before, but towards that 2018 election, I started reading more about you, and I see you as a material to Nigeria. To be specific, to Yoruba. You can really be of help to Yoruba. I'll come down to this question someone asked you before about constitution. Because to me, I believe whatever we are discussing here, or we talk about Nigeria, and you have a useless constitution, that means you don't have a country. You understand? So my question, I have a few questions to ask you on that, but I will reduce those questions. The first one is, what do you think about this constitution? And you contested for the presidency under this same constitution. How did you feel about that? Where do you think we need to go? How do you think we need to sort that issue of constitution? Because without constitution, there is no Nigeria.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I contested under the constitution painfully, and saying that I had to say during my contest that this constitution is a fraud. I said it on national TV. Everybody was like, how would you say that? But it was my hope, just like Nelson Mandela contested under a quasi-temporary constitution that was partly apartheid constitution, so that they could change the constitution of South Africa and the fortune of South Africa forever. So that was my hope, that if Nigerians had voted at that time, my first responsibility in office would have been to change the constitution and have the people come together and create another constitution. That would include things like, a referendum for secession if you want to leave the country. I was interested in a constitution that does not have a bicameral legislative system. Nigeria is wasting money on Senate and House of Reps for no reason.
That exactly.
Only one of it would have been enough for me, in which we can even reduce the function of this House of Rep members. We would only have a unicameral legislative system, and the function would be part-time, so that somebody doesn't think that the House of Rep is a place to go and make money. It will be a place where you make sacrifices to make laws. Already the amount of time they spend at the National Assembly, the House, National Assembly today, is a part-time. It's pretty much, most of the time they don't even go to work. So these are things that I had set out to do in the first year of coming to office. It would have changed the fortune of Nigeria forever as well. So I had to contest, like I said, painfully, but I knew that had I more opportunity come, I would have fought seriously to change that constitution as a priority.
But do you think that would be viable in a situation that you have many Northerners in the House? It will be viable because we will throw it to the people. People make it sound like the entire North is opposed to a better life. It's not true. Just like you have Northern elites, you have Southern elites as well. When we discuss Nigeria, people talk about, federalism is not possible because Northerners are opposed to federalism.
Go and ask yourself, what about the governor of your state who doesn't allow local government elections? In the South, who don't allow judicial autonomy? They are all the same. You are talking about terrible leaders. It doesn't matter whether they are councillor, local government chairman, or governor. They all have the same characteristics. But if the Nigerian people want a different constitution, and some people stand in the way of the constitution, and the public say this is what we want, then those people have to give way. So it's not as difficult as we think when you have the right kind of leaders in place who can mobilize and motivate the nation to greatness. It is called vision. A vision-driven leader or a mission-driven leader can make a lot of things happen. And that's what has happened to countries that have become great over these years. They always have a leader who has a vision, who have a mission, or who have integrity to push through the ideas, even when people are opposed to them. Do you think South Africa became, a multicolored or multiracial nation because the whites want it? No. It was because majority of black South Africans fighting for almost 100 years said enough is enough. And those who didn't want apartheid to end, some of them died on the street the day after apartheid was pronounced dead. They said they can't live in a free South Africa. And they went out and they became, and some of them were murdered on the street by mobs. So I am not insinuating that will happen. But this particular group of people we keep mentioning, they are not as powerful as we think, especially when the people, when the power of the people is at play.
Thank you so much. Do I have other questions? But I'll leave the floor for other people to ask their questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bayala. Wow. Mr. Sowore, thank you for the good response. We have Alhaji Musbau Akoni, who has raised his hands too. Are you there, Alhaji?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you now. Yeah, it's Alhaji.
Okay.
Please introduce yourself and from where you're speaking.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon.
I want to thank our guest for asking us, asking for our call to be interviewed today. My question is, well, in the first place, I want to thank him for all his efforts in the past. I will not thank God that we have people like him in Nigeria who are still advocating for the right of the people. Were it not, it would have been very worse. He could simply sit in his office in the United States, I understand it's a US, and be watching us from far away. But he decided to go to Nigeria to go and join others and lead the struggle for our emancipation. Now he's been there now for quite some time. He was
introduce yourself.
In prison for 5 months.
Alhaji, please.
And his rights are being denied him. He cannot move outside Abuja.
Sir, are you hearing me? Alhaji, please introduce yourself, your name, and from where you're speaking, please.
Oh, okay, I'm speaking already. I thought, okay, I'm Alhaji Misbauddin Akani. I'm from Salvador, Bahia, and I think I've started talking.
Okay.
Okay. So Mr. Sowore should be able to understand my point. I've appreciated his efforts in the past, and that his struggles are recognized. Why not for people like him? Things could have been worse in Nigeria. So we thank him for that. People simply and comfortably sit in his office in the United States, as I understand it's the US people, and watch from far. He decided to go back to Nigeria. He's been in prison for about 5 months. He's been restricted to Abuja. He's been denied right to his family and all that. My first question to him is, does he want to continue with this type of denial of his right? Would it be okay for him to find a way and leave the country the way Kanu did and fight from outside instead of him being denied his rights and all these hardships he's been going through? I think with the help of the United States government, should be able to take him out, or will the United States government put more effort to get him released and fight from outside, and when things are better, to possibly come back to Nigeria. I'm just worried about his health, the lack of his access to family, his business must be suffering, and all that. Now, my second question is the way he has spoken today is like he's a believer in one Nigeria. He thought we should remain as one. Yet, I'm a bit skeptical about that. I don't really know if there is hope for a united Nigeria with the way things are. With the reactions in the last days or so, when the southern governors came up with some questions of restructuring, and we will see the reaction of the northerners. It's like they want to maintain the status quo. They don't want things to change, but they believe if you restructure, they will lose privileges, and they don't want to do that. So many university graduates down the south are suffering. I've never seen a jobless Fulani graduate. Before he goes out of university, pushed out of the university, he already got a job and a very lucrative one for that matter. Will they be ready to sit down and let us talk and restructure the way Nigeria will be better? With their reaction now, even the Senate president who is supposed to be the prime mover and driver of this constitutional amendment, he is opposed to it. So others, senators and governors from the north, but they are comfortable with the way Nigeria is today. But that shouldn't be the future of Nigeria. We are talking of a united Europe, but each country has its own liberty. If they decide to live, they can live like the British did recently. Like the Ireland wants to go join the want to join the European Union. Is it possible to bring the northerners to the table and let us sit and do the right thing in Nigeria? The idea is losing privileges, but they know probably they will be the loser if there is a devolution of power or resources control and not control the civil service apparatus like they do in Abuja. You go to some ministry, out of 12 directors, probably you see 9 northerners, and in top position, controlling everything. So this is my question: is there this possibility of bringing the northerners to the table and sit and let us iron out our differences and get the country moving? Is there any hope of this happening?
Thank you. Thank you so much for your questions. The first question was about my own personal comfort and if I could opt out of Nigeria somehow so that I could somehow be able to fight from outside. I appreciate that, but there comes a time in the life of a man that you make a choice as to how you want to live your life. And sometimes the choice can be very, very difficult. Very difficult. And that's what happened in this case. I was the one who brought myself to Nigeria. I flew to Nigeria. And I knew the dangers involved because I've done this before. And what you're seeing now is the outcome of that decision. The decision to stay in Nigeria wasn't because, it wasn't because I cannot leave Nigeria. There are probably 1,000 border outlets in Nigeria. Nigeria has no borders, as I like to say. I can leave anytime I want. But I opted to stay here because there are people who don't have passports, people who don't have a choice to fight from outside. And they're here, and we all need ourselves. So on that note, I decided that I'm going to stay. Even if they let me go today, I will visit my family and come back. I'm not running away anymore. I spent 20 years abroad. There's nothing anybody needs to show me anymore. People have to stand and fight for the soul of this country, Nigeria, as long as I still believe in it. Even if Nigeria breaks up today, wherever I might find myself, I'll still be a fighter. Because I know that wherever we might find ourselves, even if there's a breakup, bad people are going to exist in large numbers there. Because Nigeria of today that you are seeing, and I'm entering into your second question, wasn't the creation of Fulani alone. Fulani has become the buzzword for how to blame leadership, because the guy who is Nigeria's president today is Fulani. But there was a Nigeria that was governed by Obasanjo for 8 years as well. What did he do? The one that was governed by Jonathan, what did they do? It's the same mentality, same attitudes. It's just that Buhari's own, his own agenda, his bigotry, his nepotism is so cruel and I would say very crude that it's just a rallying point for everybody who is tired of Nigeria. You are in Brazil. I think Brazil is a federation as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that correct?
It's correct.
Yes.
It's a presidential system with
but I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I've been in Brazil twice. I was in Porto. Yeah. I went to Porto Alegre at the time. They have some of the best education system in Porto Alegre. And the next time I was in Sao Paulo, right? And I just saw a country that was working. And that's all I see. And Brazil is not a country. But Brazil today produces one of the best mid-range jets in the world. They're able to feed their people, they are industrializing. Even though they have political problems, this political problem is not their biggest problem. That's why you guys are there. And we all are comfortable in those places. If you come back to Nigeria today, any one of you, whatever you have achieved in Brazil in 8 years, they can destroy it in 2 months. It doesn't matter where you return to, whether you return to Fulani land, or you return to Lagos, or you return to Abao, or you return to Boko, they will destroy it. It's there's just a low-cost system of governance in the country. Terrible leaders. So the question you then ask is, can we get the Fulanis or the Northerners to come to a round table? Well, here is what is going to happen in Nigeria. Anybody doesn't want to come to the round table, the table will go to the person and stay there. And there will be nobody on that table. You understand? So we've reached that point. But I am afraid we've also passed certain stages. I think we've passed the stage of reform. There's no amount of reform that can be carried out in Nigeria with this set of leaders that can give Nigeria a fresh lease of life. It's not possible. It's not possible for INEC to organize free and fair elections. It's not possible for state electoral commissions to organize free and fair elections. Go and Google, any one of you from Oyo State, go and Google what happened in local government elections in Oyo State yesterday. Oyo State, local government too. It wasn't organized by Fulani. It was organized by Seyi Makinde. Go and ask about what happened in Ekiti State. There was a by-election in Ekiti State 3 weeks ago, organized by Fayemi. 5 people were killed in a state of assembly by-election. That one was not organized by Fulani man. It was organized by Yoruba boy, Kayode Fayemi. 5 people, including a policeman, were killed. So there's nationwide problem of leadership. Nationwide. That has nothing to do with tribe in most of the cases. But the Fulani hegemony that Buhari creates has become the poster boy for what is wrong with Nigeria. But even if Buhari is removed today and you bring any of these characters to come and lead Nigeria, they will still do worse. Obasanjo was president of Nigeria for 8 years. There's no road from Lagos to his hometown, Abeokuta. No, because their priority is not about taking care of the country. It's about taking care of themselves, the political class in the country. So I think, like I said, that people will be forced to dialogue if we want to continue, because we have to thank Buhari for it. Buhari pushed Nigeria to the edge, to the cliff. And any one more push like this, Nigeria will be over. You have to thank Buhari for that. And whomever thinks that there's privileges being Fulani will soon find out very soon that privilege is not watertight. It can disappear at any freaking time. And I understand some of this sentiment, but I also have done my research and internalized the fact that the situation is not as simple as we sometimes take them.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So what do you think is the solution now? What can we do? Because all these countries we are talking about, US, Brazil, but they are very strong institutions that can rise to the occasion. Look at the situation of the US when Trump was there. He wasn't satisfied. He didn't want to leave easily. But the institution, even the Supreme Court, where he nominated most of the judges, they went against him because the state controls the electoral system.
It's not about institution. It's not about institution alone. It's leadership. If the Supreme Court judges in the US were like our Supreme Court judges, Trump will still be in power, even though they have nice buildings. You understand? It is a judge, right, who kept me in Abuja, a female judge. She has 5 kids. Didn't think about how I would eat or that I have family. You understand? And she's not a Fulani judge. She's from the southeast. The guys that arrested me in Lagos, they are Yoruba people. The 2 guys that maintained my detention who are in charge of making sure that I don't have any good life in detention, they were Yoruba boys. The guy who led my abduction from the detention in Abuja was a Yoruba man. If people don't have conscience, if people don't have integrity, there's nothing they cannot do, whether they are Yoruba or Fulani. They will do anything. Which we have a lot of bad people. Like our mama said the other time, there are 2 tribes: the tribe of the oppressed and the oppressor. And a lot of oppressed people are even worse than the oppressors because they want to become like the oppressors. So they will do anything to get into the circle of oppressors. Some of them don't even have money to pay their children's school fees. But let there be a protest today. It's the same policeman that you are praying for his salary that will come and shoot you. It's the same soldiers who have not been paid that will come and shoot you. Why is it that the institutions cannot be, the army institution in Nigeria cannot be like Mali, where there was a protest, and the army joined the protest, and the president of Mali was deposed. After 2 weeks, he had stroke, and I think after a month, he died. And Mali is still there. What is my solution, as you ask? It's a revolution. I don't hide it. Even after 5 months in detention, that was what I was telling them. I said, look, you are wasting your time. If you like, you keep me here for 10 years. Until Nigeria experiences a revolution, we are not likely going anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Alhaji Akoni, thank you very much for your question. Now we move forward. We have Alhaji Akim Akpina, who has also raised his hands here. Can you, Alhaji Akim, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good afternoon, Mr. Sowore.
Alhaji Akpina, please let our question be very brief so that.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be snappy. I'm going to be very, very short. Okay. My question is that, Mr. Sowore, my name is Akim Akinola from Sao Paulo. My question is that, will you accept the restructuring, and also what is your take about the 2014 national conference? That's my 2 questions.
Yes. What the question I would throw back to you like this: what in restructuring what do we need to do by restructuring Nigeria? Because sometimes when I ask this question, when people say restructuring, I feel like it's a buzzword. I've never gotten one single answer from different sources. This one will say, some people will say to me, it's because the states want to control their resources, right? Some people will say a state police, right? Some people say they want power devolved from the federal to the states and local government. So what in your own case is the restructuring as you understand it?
So
that I will know how to best.
I don't know if you watch Pastor Bakare last week sermon. There is simple.
I don't watch Bakare anymore.
Okay. It defines restructuring in a very simple way. That the pyramid in the north, then what they could call something in the southwest, and the Papkenen in the southeast. And each of these leaders, they use these resources to develop their own section. I mean, their region.
Yes.
That is very simple thing. They should allow every regional to develop
control their resources.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. So, very fantastic. But I will ask you one question. If anybody is from Osun State, if we restructure and Osun State controls its resources, do you know what people will be selling in Osun State to survive?
No.
Exactly. Because they don't have resources as such. You know, they could. Osun could be living off of tourism. You understand?
Yeah.
But because of terrible leaders, uncreative human beings, there's nothing. Are we going to be selling Doikire in Osun State? No, because there's nothing. There's no resources to fall back upon. Lagos State is the only viable state in the southwest, apart from Ondo State. Ondo State can't even pay salaries as we speak. So which resources are we going to fall back upon? So you go to the southeast. The southeast, what is there? Maybe there's coal in Enugu, but who is buying coal anymore? Yeah, to go to south. The south people can say, yes, we control our resources because we have oil. But very soon, oil is going to dry up as well. So without the kind of creative leaders that can find new means of raising resources or creating revenue for Nigeria, will not have even resources to even manage. Any section of Nigeria will be broke as well. Meanwhile, when you have countries like China, Brazil, they are no longer relying on natural resources. They are relying on human capital resources. You understand what I'm saying? China relies on its people. The US relies on its people. You know, they develop their people through education, and the people in turn create new sources of resources. Software, for example, has brought a lot of money to India. I don't know, I've never heard that India has copper or gold or oil. But look at what they have done with software. Look at what they have done with medical tourism, because they educated their own people to become great doctors, to become great scientists, computer scientists, and whiz kids. That's what has brought, and they had Bollywood. That's what is making India proud today. That's what they're relying upon. And then you add that to great leaders, you have unlimited amount of resources. So am I opposed to restructuring so that we can fall back on our? No, definitely. I don't think the federal government should have the bulk of resources available to the country, and some people in Abuja, you find a director in Abuja, a director in the ministry, they will have a whole estate. And some states cannot pay salaries because there's too much resources at the center. I agree with that we should restructure that so that there will be more resources. But we still need to find people who can manage those resources. Because if you look at what the governors are doing, the state governors are asking for state police, not because they want to police their state, but because they want to have a grip on the instrument of terror, to terrorize their opponents. The same governors are not interested in judicial autonomy. The same governors are not interested in local government autonomy. And these are not Fulani governors. I'm talking about governors in the South. So we must ensure that when we're asking for these things, we also ask for the right people to manage all these good things we are asking for, because otherwise it will be a waste of our time and resources. We will have the restructuring we need, put more money in the hands of governors. They will be stealing the money and building and buy houses. I even heard now that they go to Brazil to buy houses. They've gone that far. So it's crazy set of people. Then you're talking about 2014 Constitutional Conference and the document that came from there. well, it suffered the same legitimacy in my view. It was non-inclusive. The government appointed most of the people that went there, and most of them were traditional rulers, old people, the same people that put Nigeria where it is. And the reason Jonathan put together a 2014 constitutional conference is because Jonathan wanted to extend his tenure to 6 years. The moment he failed, he was the one who had even jettisoned that document, because they concluded in 2014. He could have started the process of implementation of that outcome if he was interested. But because it was not his natural interest, he jettisoned it, and now they are calling for it. I think we should go to another conference, completely different from what we've had in the past, in view of the situational variables confronting Nigeria today, to create a brand new constitution. It's either we agree to that constitution or not to be looking for, very lazy ways of solving our problems, which is go back, go front. Some people are even talking about 1963 constitution. Which country in the world relies on the past to make progress? Other people are already sending, China just sent a rover to Mars last week, and they're already sending pictures back. You know what we are still doing here? Somebody said that the biggest resource development that has ever come out of Nigeria, said that National Assembly, was the creation of these meats. I forget the name of the meat. It's made by Northerners. It's very common here in Abuja. These dry meats. I forget if anybody knows about it. That's what Nigeria Kilishi is, according to Nigerian leaders, is the best thing we have ever made since 1960. That's the best invention we have made. Kilishi, that pepper, maybe they will add suya to it or jollof rice,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Funny.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sowore. We have. Would you like to take a snap, or we move ahead?
I just want to ask permission to leave by not later than 7:30. I have another Zoom meeting soon, please. If you.
So what's the time in Nigeria?
It's 7:18 now, so probably in another 15 minutes. So if you guys don't mind, I'm glad to come back another time.
We have please let your question be so short so that we can all enjoy others too. I think we have Mr. Nico. Mr. Nicholas, are you there? Mr. Nicholas.
Thank you, Mr. Deyinka.
Please, a question, please.
Thank you, Mr. Deyinka. And I must thank you for this privilege. And my thanks also goes to Comrade Sowore for taking out the time to be with us. And I'm very happy that you took out this time, because before this time I had some misgivings about your person based on the information I got from third parties. But I think I know differently now, because from what you have explained and the person you I feel I will go home, or perhaps I'll have a different impression of who you are and what you represent in the Nigerian political scene. My question will be very brief, and it goes this way. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a nationalist, and I also have the conviction that splitting Nigeria is not going to resolve anything. Because when you split people, it is not about splitting them on geographical basis. It is about ideology. And if you don't have the right ideology, nothing changes. So you belong to the intelligentsia, and if given the opportunity as president of Nigeria, how do you plan to arrange an intelligentsia system that will be able to produce an intellectual content? Because that is what we lack in Nigeria. That will be able to put the decisions, the political culture, and the social structure in such a way that we'll be able to come up with something completely different. And the other question is, as a Yoruba man, the Igbo and Yoruba divide is a very difficult situation to come with. And I think this is one of the greatest problems we have in Nigeria. The Hausa hegemony they have held over these years is based on the weak Igbo Yoruba structure that has been led in the south part region of Nigeria. How do we hope to bring this disaffection between these two ethnic tribes into harmony so that we can move forward in the south?
Well, thank you so much for your question. The first question is about how to prop up the intellectual, value in Nigeria. And I'll tell you the place I'll go to straight. I'll go back to the universities and invest in education, real education. I will do everything I can to attract Nigerians who have left, but who have the intellectual capacity to move this country forward, to come back and start operating from our universities, whereas they can also operate outside of the universities. Because everywhere I've been, regardless of what you think, it is the universities that drives intellectual discourse and intelligent activities of every country. In fact, in the US, every year there's a presidential election. Anytime there's a presidential election, the presidential candidates must go to a university campus for one of their debates. It's compulsory. I don't think it's the law, but it's compulsory. Because you must go and share that intellectual flair before you can be completely trusted. That is lacking in Nigeria. We've abandoned our universities, we have abandoned our educational systems, and we have nothing left. We've had situations where a vice chancellor is chosen, a retired military officer was chosen as a vice chancellor to govern Ahmadu Bello University before. And the same thing is still happening today. The level, the intellectual value of the universities have been degraded. You have universities going on strike, you understand? University going on strike for 9 months in a country like Nigeria. I can't even believe that we tolerate it. But there are a lot of things that are intolerable here, that are tolerated here that are intolerable in other places. So our first port of call are the universities, sir. That's my belief. With regards to the Igbo Yoruba unity that you're calling for, well, I think a lot of it is happening already. I feel like there's a lot of coming together of the oppressed. Maybe it's because the oppression has reached everybody here. But I also call your attention to something that is also happening in the north. There's no longer a monolithic north anymore. People in Taraba, Plateau, Benue are also finding their own levels. People in parts of Adamawa, Southern Kaduna, even Nasarawa, and places like Gombe. In Gombe recently, there was an attempt to install a Christian leader, and it was frustrated, and the people there protested. So, and there's also something I'm hearing that even the traditional Hausas are complaining against the dominant culture of the Fulanis. So, I think a lot of things are changing. But with regards to the South, I think we just need to deal with ourselves honestly. That we don't cover, if we have a bad person in the South, we don't say that because it's the Southerner, we cover the person up. Or if you have a bad Yoruba, you say because it's Yoruba, you are Yoruba. Or because it's Ijaw, you are Ijaw, because it's Igbo. The moment we are honest about who our representatives should be, I think that unity will come. I don't have any problem with Igbos. But I know, like you said, that our parents do. No matter how they hide it, no matter how we hide it, the generations before us, there's no trust between Igbos and Yoruba. They say it behind, behind the door, how they feel about themselves. But I think the new generation a little bit different. With justice, I think there will be unity of the oppressed against the oppressors.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sowore.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nico. Thank you very much for your question. Before we ask Dr. Dele Yusuf, who has raised his hand, I would like to let Mr. Sowore, like you mentioned Brazil a couple of minutes ago, like probably they are now coming to Brazil to buy their houses or
properties. Yeah, I've heard that.
I would like to chip in a bit. We have thousands of Nigerians living in Brazil, hard-working Nigerians. That's why we've been trying and contributing our part. You see, in the recent months now, years, as I say, we've been talking, making our opinions known to Nigerian people. We've invited a number of Nigerians, we've interviewed them, saying we are here. We can assure you that if we notice any irregularities in Brazil, we definitely let the world know about it. So that's it. Thank you very much for observing.
We'll let you know. Thank you.
Yeah, I will allow Dr. Dele Yusuf. Sir, are you there? Dr. Yusuf? Dr. Dele Yusuf?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, sir. So,
okay. In the first case, I have to welcome Mr. Sowore. You know, those of us who have been abroad for many years and somebody has got the courage to go back to our country and be fighting for the benefit of, you know, of the common man. So I have to thank you for that courage. Because some of us, we don't have that courage, and we have somebody that is doing that job, and we will need more, you know, people like that. You know, I'm a medical doctor, been here for, you know, let's say, just to be precise, more than 35 years.
Wow.
And you know, I go to Nigeria about 2 or 3 times a year and contribute my own quota, you know, in my own way, but not as you are doing. And I thank you, and most of us as well, we thank you for the effort you've been made, because we, you know, just, you know, I heard that they remove history from our
from the curriculum, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know, you know, because whatever you do in life, history is very, very important. And from our own history, and I've been seeing that you've been working, you've been running all over the places for many years. So that is very, very important. And, you know, and we thank you for that. There's, you know, about, you know, practically you've explained, you know, what we really wanted to hear, you know. And one of the speakers, I think Madam Anne, said something about oppression. Obasanjo was in prison. When he got to the stage, he became an oppressor. Buhari was in prison, he became an oppressor. So automatically, you know, what we are trying to say is that you are in prison, we don't know what you will become. So what I'm trying with my question is this. You know, in a democratic society, we have some bandits, and these bandits, they have their followers anywhere in the whole world, either in the States, in South Africa, in Brazil, or other things. And since it's a democracy, how? Because you don't want to talk with the bandits, because we have the bandits. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
How are you going to make this function? Because it is very, very important. In Brazil, we had a government who was Lula. When he got to the government, the reserve was about $30 billion. He had to work with the bandits to get the government. He got the government, right? Then to govern, he had to work with the bandits, because the bandits are very powerful. You know, these guys that are very rich, they are not that they are privileged. I mean, not that they are very intelligent. It's because they were very close to the treasure of the society. So they were able to make, you know, some money, not that they are very intelligent. Okay, he had to work with these bandits in order to govern, because we have these bandits in the House of Representatives here as well. So he had to work with them so that in order to govern. So from there, he was able to ameliorate, to better the condition of life of the Afro-Brazilians, to the extent that he brought the reserve from 35 to 40 billion to $380 billion, right? That is why we are not in a mess today with this pandemic. Okay, now another lady was elected as the president. Now, this lady refused to work with the bandits. You know what they did? It was removed from the system. Then the bandit came in again. Now my question is this, because I'm trying to say that you've been walking all over the place. The guys are very powerful. I want to ask you, how are you going to do it without working with the bandits? Because Nelson Mandela worked with the bandits to get to power, to make some changes. How are you going to do it? Because this conception should be, I would like you to expatiate on it, because it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, thank you very much. One, I wanted to correct the impression about Obasanjo being in prison and becoming an oppressor. Obasanjo was an oppressor before he went to prison. And after prison, he went back to doing what he knows how to do very well. Buhari was an oppressor before he went to prison. After prison, he came back to do what he does very well, which is oppressing people. So nothing changed. It's just like that's their character. So with regards to your question about this, is a legitimate question. You understand? Our problem is that Nigeria, we have. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Yes. Our problem is that we have been ruled by bandits our entire life since 1960. You understand? For someone like me, 30 years now, I have looked at and seen what the bandits can do. We all have seen what banditry can do. If we had the opportunity to have a government that's half bandits and half good people, we would not be having this conversation we are having. If we give a contractor an opportunity or a contract to construct a road, and he construct the road and chop part of the money, some Nigerians will say that it's fine, right? They won't complain. So we have tried banditry for 60 years. I know all the bandits in this country by way of being a journalist, being an activist, being a student, being a father, being everything. I know all the bandits. You probably know the bandits too. What we are experiencing now is how we can limit banditry. You understand? If there are people who want to work for the goodness of Nigeria, I will work with the person. But what I will not do is to open my eyes in good conscience and enter into a system in which we will sustain this darkness in Nigeria. Since I've been talking to you, we've been using generator. And I'm sure those of you in Brazil, probably you don't even know what a generator looks like, particularly the doctor. For 35 years, you probably don't know what a generator looks like. It's possible that you do, but it's not as bad as here. This is what banditry can do to any society. We've reached the limits. The only way around this is to turn away from the bandits, chase them out of the system, and have new people, new ideas, and work with whomever then wants to work with us. Not that we should be working for bandits, because Nigeria is a state that is working for banditry. The National Assembly is of bandits. The judiciary is made up of bandits. The executive is made up of bandits. The Nigerian police is of banditry. The Nigerian army is of banditry. This is, if there's a government that can be defined as a government of bandits, Nigeria is the place to go to look for it. So this is the reason why going from here, we just have to change course, doctor. And in Brazil, I would say that as a closing remark, in Brazil, you have a chance to see a good person who wants to work with, a little bit of bandits, and you have now had a chance to also see a government of bandits. Which one would you choose next time? I'm sure you will not go for a Bolsonaro. What's the name of that Bola Tinubu that is running Brazil? you know.
Yeah, Buenos Aires.
Yeah, Buenos Aires.
I don't even know his name very well.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. So, yes, yeah, that's your own Buhari. Would you go for a government of that next time? I'm sure you won't. I can never pronounce his name, but you know, but he's bad enough that we know him in Nigeria. You know?
Just to correct you for something, something. In Brazil, you were talking about Oshu that got no resources and others. In Brazil, they got no resources. The highest, their means of income here is that they do export food, agricultural products. So exactly. Oshu has got something that could be done to feed Nigeria with the land farm.
Look, my brother, I have no problem with that. I'm just saying, without creative leaders, Osun will still be producing dodo. You understand? But if there are leaders who are creative, you know, you will still be. Yes, we can be exporting a lot of things. Look, Fayemi last week, he went and bought, was it 3 weeks ago, he went and bought some cows. I'm sure they bought them from Brazil or Argentina. The cow got to the airport and escaped from the hatch. You know, they said it's Fayemi that brought the cow. I'm looking at him and saying, are we crazy? Why are we still importing cows from, you know, and putting them on planes to come to Nigeria? Something that we should have done 30 years ago. I wonder what had this ranching problem that is finishing Nigeria now. Awolowo had a solution to it. Awolowo had a ranch in Ondo State. I forget the name of the town in Ondo State. Some 40 years ago. But when you have leaders that are not creative, there's nothing you can get from it. They are only there as bandits to eat your resources. So they are not there to create anything. You are talking about Brazil. We eat Brazilian banana in America. Cantaloupe, things that are brought from Brazil overnight, we eat it in America. But what is it that Nigeria exports? What do we create apart from kilishi? Nothing. And sharing oil money. Even the oil that we are making here, brothers, we can't refine them. We have to take them out, refine, and import back. Who cost us? So without getting the leadership right, we can do all the restructuring we need, but we must restructure the brain of these our leaders through a revolution. And this is where I stop, my brothers and sisters, and those who have been watching and listening to me. I would love for us to come back, but because I have another event, I will ask your permission to take a leave.
Thank you very much.
If you don't mind. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
My president.
We thank you very much for being able to attend to us.
President Show.
We thank you very much, and can assure you that you've with what you have said today, you've been able to win more fans in Brazil.